Hello everyone, it's Mikhail Casanova, Hawaii content creator, and I'm here to talk more about the ASUS ROG Ally. I want to give a bit of an update on the whole situation with the micro SD card, as well as talk about some of the differences I've experienced since I've done the BIOS update that was pushed out. There's also an Armory Crate SC update that got pushed out as well. And I want to, just take some time to talk about it and give you guys a bit of an update because I feel like I could do typical like a podcast episode, which that'll be coming tomorrow. I'm going to talk about all the stuff I've gone through with it and more. But I really want to talk about, you know, the experience because I know we can do these videos as content creators. We can commercialize them with the MKBHD style, where it's like panoramics and all that. That's important for cinematography and whatnot for videos. But I really want to give the average consumer the idea of like what it's like to actually use this device, what it's like to actually go through some of the hurdles. Because at the end of the day, I'm the average consumer as well. Even though I get products sent to me, I still buy anything sent to me. I pay for as well. I'll buy just to support the company. So all that out of the way, I want to talk about the update that I've been experiencing. So, with the micro SD card, you guys know I had the SanDisk Extreme, the A2 chip, which was a V30 card. So that one was a 1 terabyte, and I ran through the issue where it was running the ROG Ally very slow, very sluggish, and I'd have all these issues with performance and all this other stuff, and it's very frustrating to deal with. And it got to a point where the card just stopped being read, and like no matter what I did, I couldn't get it to properly function. And when I would plug it into the ROG Ally, outside of the performance issues and dips that would happen to the Ally, I would also get instances where I if I went to disk manager, I couldn't reformat the card, and I utilize that card in both the NTFS as well as an exFAT format. So regardless of that, that card just wouldn't work. And I thought, okay, this just fried my 1 terabyte card because I saw so many comments about that. But the interesting thing is, I did put up a poll and ask people what are some of the issues that they're having, or something along those lines. I was talking about their experiences with the ROG Ally. And in the poll, most of the folks were saying, in regards to the micro SD card issue, they want to wait and see what ASUS is going to do. And we all know that ASUS has stated multiple times in their Discord as well as on social media and the Reddit, they have not personally experienced, they're not able to replicate the issues with the micro SD card or with the overheating or the SD card slot failure. So, you know, what I did was I went and I tested out several 1 terabyte drive, and I know I had someone try to be real, basically a dickhead to me in the comment section about, hey, this guy's acting like, he doesn't need to use a 1 terabyte card on a Nintendo Switch. Motherfucker, I got like four 1 terabyte cards that I use across multiple Nintendo Switches. Mine, my Switch Lite, my Switch OLED, my wife's Switch Lite, and OLED because we're both big gamers. So we utilize those micro SD cards, those 1 terabytes on our Switch. So don't ever, when people have the gall to jump at somebody and make an accusation, a baseless accusation, or then try to create stupid drama out of nothing. It's just really ridiculous. So I just wanted to address that. That was one of the stupidest comments I've ever. If you're watching this, go fuck yourself. Go touch some grass and go fuck yourself. Anyways, um, so with the what I did was I went out and I bought two additional 1 terabyte cards. I bought a Lexar 1 terabyte card, and I also went and got another SanDisk micro SD card, 1 terabyte, and I tested both of those. And what was interesting is I had more issues with the SanDisk card than I did anything else, and I did format that to NTFS, and I put games on it, put Cyberpunk, put Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor. I put The Last of Us and other games on it. And it just gave me issues here and there. Like the games would run, but then like there would be some issues with like stuttering and performance. But then when I I had these same games downloaded on the Lexar card, and I had no issues whatsoever. Ran perfectly fine. On the Samsung Evo cards and the Pro Plus cards, absolutely no issues with those either. And I even went so far as to pick up an Amazon branded 1 terabyte micro SD card, which is also an A2 V30 card. And I had no issues at all. And I'm wondering, uh, potentially, is this a case? Because I've seen other videos, other people have made these comments about it, and I've seen some folks, in the comments of my videos and on some of my, my polls, and also in Reddit threads, maybe say that this could potentially be something of an issue with maybe SanDisk cards. And I know some people are actually reporting full failure with their micro SD cards, and I'm not going to discredit that or say that's not happening. That could be very well a possibility of something that is happening, and I don't know. I don't have enough information to say that that's the case, but from my own personal experience, it seems that there seems to be a bit of an issue with SanDisk micro SD cards and compatibility with the ROG Ally. It shouldn't be. It could be a completely baseless, claim on my end, but from what I have been testing, that seems to be the case for the matter. And I'm just not sure. Maybe that's not it. Maybe it legitimately is just, defects in it. I know people have been saying, hey, I ran through some of the issues with, the micro SD cards or stick drift or dead zones or unresponsive buttons. Look, that happens. I feel like people forget when the Steam Deck came out, there was a lot of issues with this too. People were having issues with the buttons, people were having issues with the trackpads, with the micro SD cards. And I understand, people just tend to have short memory when it comes to stuff like that. But we ran through a lot of, if not all of these issues with the Steam Deck as well. And it took, weeks and months to get it to where it's stable as it is now. And I think we, if we were willing to offer that type of, time and patience to Valve, I think we should be fair across the board and give that to ASUS as well. I know ASUS has a really bad track record with, QA as well as customer service. But the thing is, the fact that they are willing to, the doors are open for lines of communication with ASUS and us, the consumers. Like, look, I wasn't given a review unit for the ROG Ally. I bought one with my own money, so I'm in the same boat as you guys. I want answers for things, but I also think that we need to have a fair approach to how we're gonna give them feedback and how we're going to treat them and give them you know criticism. Like, yeah, you should criticize issues, but also give informative feedback. You draw more bees with honey than with vinegar. You know what I mean? So like if you are having issues, talk to them. They've already opened lines of communication. They already said that if there are any issues you're experiencing, regardless of it, you can do an RMA and they'll take care of it. And that was one of the things that I was concerned with the ROG Ally is, are they going to have the same level of customer support and care that the Steam Deck has? Because there are plenty of other gaming PCs in the same category as the Steam Deck, or rather the ROG Ally, that they're over $1,000, from 700 up to over 1,000, and people swear by them, but at the same time these companies are also pumping out devices like crazy. So I was worried that ASUS may not really show that level of care for the Ally, but they are. They're on it as best as I believe that is capable of that company. So I think we should not cut them slack, but be fair. Give them information. If you're experiencing issues, contact them, let them know, and RMA if you feel it is needed. But don't forget that we had a lot of these same issues with the Steam Deck as well. And I'm not trying to be an Ally apologist or anything like that. Like I said, I paid for this thing with my own money and I thoroughly enjoy it as I do enjoy the Steam Deck. But if we're going to be fair across the board. That's just my stance on it. So The other thing I want to bring up is with the BIOS that they put out, the BIOS update, and what that did was quite a number of things. I need to get my glasses so I can double check some of the updates on that. So basically what this did, this is BIOS 322. This is how blind I am. I had to put my glasses on. I'm like, let me grab my glasses. So this is BIOS 322. This dropped on July 4th of 2023 through the ASUS app. So this, here's some of the bug fixes. So it resolved an issue that caused the ROG Ally to be stuck at the boot up loading screen when users configure a password in BIOS mode, and also modified the Ally's fan curve from 30 dBA to 35 dBA in turbo mode when plugged in, and from 25 dBA to 30 dBA in turbo mode when using the battery, and change the minimum fan speed in manual mode when device hits a certain temperature. So basically, for those who don't understand that, for the casuals out there, nothing wrong with being a casual. Basically, they just increased the fan speed. So the biggest complaint people have been having is with like the SD card slot being next to the exhaust port, and so because of that, that's going to draw heating. And I fully agree with the criticisms that people have with the placement of the micro SD card slot. Where on the Steam Deck it's on the bottom, on the Nintendo Switch it's in the back compartment. If you look at the new 3DS XL or the new 2DS XL or the new 3DS, the micro SD card slots are on the bottom or the back. Why they would do that, I don't really know. Maybe they thought that it would be like a good idea to like put that there, or maybe they thought that it wouldn't be a big of an issue because micro SD cards typically can withstand severe high temperatures before, subjecting themselves or succumbing, not subjecting themselves, but succumbing to micro SD card failure. They're built to withstand high heat temperatures and still be able to perform. So I'm assuming, with the information that ASUS has gotten from us, the consumer base, that with these increasing temperatures and the claims of the micro SD card slot failure, that they think, okay, so what we can do to see if this would fix it is let's increase the fan curve. So the fans are going to ramp up higher and be a little bit more noticeable. And I've noticed that they do run higher and they do blow more, but they also aren't that much louder. So it's not like the Steam Deck where I feel like, it's about to take off, or like a better example being the PlayStation 3. You remember how those used to sound like jet engines about to take off? Even the PlayStation 4, the base model and slim models were like that too. Even actually, no, the PS4 Pro was like that too. So, we, we run into, them increasing the fans, but it's not going to be on that same level of that's how loud it is. It's not that crazy loud. It's not as loud as a Steam Deck, but they are noticeably of a higher pitch. But it's not anything crazy. So that has been done. And you know, even with that update, I still have issues with SanDisk cards, so there's that. So, um, if you had issues with SanDisk cards or micro SD cards in general or overheating, why don't you let me know, or let all of us know rather, in the comment section down below, or in the Discord. You can hop into Discord. We have a Discord community. If you want to talk about your experiences with the ROG Ally, post the update, maybe that helped with your issues of overheating. But I definitely want to get some feedback on that, because that is something that has happened. Like, that's been their first response to it. And then we had Armory Crate SE do an update, which just increasing performance and fixing some of the sluggishness that the app had before. So there's that. But as far as issues with like dead zones and button sticking and all this other stuff, I haven't personally experienced any of that. Everything to me is perfectly fine as far as use cases with the ROG Ally. I will say the one thing I have had to do, because this occurred after I did the BIOS update, and this happened for me personally. I had a BIOS update and I had a cumulative update from Windows, and then there's also another update within Armory Crate SE, and all these updates basically led to the touchscreen on my ROG Ally just not working whatsoever. And so what I had to do is I had to do a factory reset. I did the whole thing, and that apparently fixed any of the issues I was having with it. Like I was having issues where like I couldn't change the resolution on the well, no, I could change the resolution. I couldn't change the refresh rate. So I had originally reduced the refresh rate from 120 hertz, which is what it defaults to. I reduced that to 100. Oh no, no, I reduced it to 30 hertz, or 30 hertz, not 30, 60 hertz. Sorry. I was looking at the number 30 and then I said it. I reduced it to 60 hertz from 120 hertz. And I did that because you can save a lot of the battery life. You could also reduce the resolution to 720 if you want to increase the battery rate. But, you know, considering not many games can take advantage fully of the 120 hertz mode on or capability of the device, I just took it down to 60. 60 is fine for me. So I was locked at 60, and I couldn't do anything else with it. You know, I couldn't change it back. And then it also was having issues where like it wasn't seeing the graphics card at all, the AMD graphics card. And so yeah, on top of the touchscreen not working, I just had to return, you know, do a factory reset. And then when I did a reset, you know, it re-downloaded everything from the cloud back up, and literally within an hour I was back up and running, popped my micro SD card back in, and I was able to get back to gaming, and all the issues went away. And I haven't had any issues with it since then. So there's that. Outside of that, I don't really have any other issues I can report on. And I do want to pose a question. I don't think anyone has asked this question, and I've thought about this for quite a while. And I've seen probably one person in my comments ask this question. Why is it that none of the people that had review units spoke about the issues of micro SD card failure or overheating? Because you would think, because they had pre-production units and final retail units, um for like a month, 2 months before the thing came out, why did they not speak about it? Is it because it's legitimately not really an issue? It could be, you know, a case by case thing, or is it something of a case of it being, you know, potentially just uh a design flaw? Like I'm very curious about that, because none of the people who have done reviews have you know, who have had a review unit have said anything about issues with it in that case whatsoever. So that just makes me wonder, like, what is actually going on. Like, I've speculated it could be issues with SanDisk cards, and it could also be a good majority of it being issues with people not knowing how to utilize Windows, or, you know, people setting it down and it overheating that way, as I demonstrated in one of the previous videos that I've done. So it could be a combination of things. You know, I don't think it's the design is just awful. Yeah, I do think they could have put the micro SD card slot at the bottom. Plus, the fans they're using in the ROG Ally are smaller fans than what you would typically see in a PC in this form factor. So there's that as well. But that's just something I'm curious about. And I really want to know what you guys think of it overall. So definitely let us know in the comment section down below, or in the Discord as well. And outside of that, I really got nothing else to talk about. I've had no issues since with the ROG Ally since I did the factory reset and I tested out the different cards. And yeah, all that being said, why don't y'all let me know what you think in the comment section down below, or comment on any of the, you know, the podcasts as well. I'll leave a poll as well, and just let us know what you think. And if there are any accessories you want to pick up for your ROG Ally or your Steam Deck, or if there are any games you want to pick up for, you know, Steam Deck, ROG Ally, or PC in general, I'll leave links where you can get games substantially cheaper, but also I get a little bit of kickback, no additional cost to you. As same thing for getting accessories. Leave links to them. You can pick those up. It helps out the channel, helps out the podcast, and we can just go from there. So all that being said, I hope you guys have an aloha rest of your day. Be blessed, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode, next video, next podcast. If you enjoyed this, and you're watching video format, like it, share, subscribe, and yeah, let's just keep the conversation going. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay safe, and I'll see you around. Peace.